JCC in Manhattan. I'm the director of the Makom program here, which is our program for meditation and spirituality. So I'm very pleased this evening to welcome Rabbi Sutton, who will introduce also the wonderful musical accompaniment. And I would like to thank a couple of people before we talk a little more about Rabbi Sutton. David Schwecke and Elia Kim-Kinslinger, who helped to make this program happen, and my partner and friend, Mark Perlman, who will tell you a little bit about Sinai Live and Jay Insider. We're welcoming Rabbi Sutton tonight from Jerusalem, and we're thrilled every time he's in New York. We had a little bit of short notice for this program, so it wasn't in our major publicity, but we thank all of you for coming and hearing about it through all kinds of wonderful ways that it was publicized. Thanks for coming this evening. And we hope that all of you will come and have a look at Rabbi Sutton's amazing work. His articles, books, and CDs over here are for sale. We'll probably have a little break in the middle and then some time at the end for you to come and have a look and take something of this evening home with you. So I'd like to introduce first Mark Perlman and welcome everybody.
Woo. Thanks. Just a quick thing. I've been involved with the JCC the last couple of years, trying to bring the best speakers and lecturers in the Jewish area. And Rabbi Sutton, I think, is one of the best lecturers around the world. And I think if you haven't seen him, I think you'll really enjoy it. I'd love to hear your reaction after his presentation. Two quick things. I have created a site called Sinai Live, where many of Avraham Sutton's teachings are on. It's SinaiLive.com. And then most recently, I just created a site called Jay Insider, and I just put your videos up there also. And it's a site that does teaching and also covers current events. So without further ado, here's Rabbi Sutton, and thank you for coming.
First of all, we have a new concept for tonight. Eleo Messias. A concept of playing as a background and as an accompaniment to words of Torah. As it is, I love when we, being here together, can feel a presence, that we ourselves become an embodiment of a higher presence. Similar to candles, when you light candles and you put them near each other, then each one with its light, all the lights join with each other and create a larger, or a halo, a larger light that's the whole that's greater than the sum of all its parts. We are candles. We're also receiving stations, we're radios. There's a lot going on around us. But the main thing that's going around us is that we are in a sea of Ruach HaKodesh, a sea of spiritual activity. A sea of beauty, a sea of godliness. And similar to when you have a radio and it's not on, it's not receiving. It's there. It's there. Let's turn on our radios. Let's really be there to receive this, a different channel than what people are normally receiving. In other words, the channel basically of prophecy. I always call prophecy our mother's milk. That's what we grew up on. And what was taken away from us and hidden from us, it was very painful. It was very traumatic. We need the prophetic spirit. And according to the teachings that I've been able to access, that prophetic spirit is not absent. It is merely hidden. And towards the end, when we'll need it more and more, that prophetic spirit will bless us. Vayishpoch ruchi al kol basar. I will pour my spirit out on all flesh. That means us. So the music will be going on while I speak. How's that going to work? We'll see, okay? I'll speak up? Okay. You'll tell me if you can hear me well enough. So tonight is devoted to actually the relationship between spiritual experience and relationship with others. How do they work together? And so it seemed to me to be highly serendipitous, amazingly coincidental, that our parasha this week opens up with Yaakov Avinu's experience of the ladder. The ladder, the vision of the ladder, the powerful experience that Yaakov had, which I'm going to speak more about tomorrow because the emphasis is not on that tonight, but I will just mention a few things. The verse says, Vayifga, Yaakov b'makom, Vayifga b'makom. He hit upon the place. What place? So we're told it was the place of the future site of the temple. The place where Isaac had lain on the altar. The place that Adam had been. According to the tradition in the Gemara and Sanhedrin, so God gathered the body of Adam from all corners of the earth. But he gathered his head. It's all symbolic thinking, but he gathered his head from the place of the temple. So the temple is the entry point of heaven into earth. If there is one point, if there would be one point on the planet, one main place where the infinite enters into finite space, into finite time, it is that Makom HaMikdash. It is the place of our temple. It is still there for those who have X-ray eyes. So when Yaakov got there, the context is that he now has been told to go marry. His mother, Rivka, has choreographed a whole drama, asking him, begging him, commanding him to take the brachot, to take the blessings from his father. And then when she's been informed that Esav is planning to kill Yaakov, she sends Yaakov to Isaac, to Yitzhak, and says to Yitzhak on her own, I can't stand the girls of the land of Canaan. I don't want my son to marry one of them. Look, Esav did it, and they're just not what we want. Why don't you send them back home to where I came from? This is what she tells Isaac, and this is what he does. He calls Yaakov in, and he says, I want you to go back to where I found your mother, and you're going to get married. So putting ourselves in Yaakov's position, Yaakov knows that his life is in danger for what he's done. He's now received the Bechorah, and he's received the Beracha. It's the same letters, switched around. The Bechorah is the firstborn. The Beracha is the blessing. A Bechor receives double, because the letters of Bechor are 2, 20, and 200. 2, 20, and 200. Bechor, Beit Resh, Beit Chaf Resh. So it's built into the word that the Bechor receives double. But who's the Bechor? The one who was born first? The one who was conceived first? There's an important, necessary vagueness here. Who is really the Bechor? And they both really represent something very important. They represent the soul and the body. The soul has eminence, but in this world, when we're born, we lose the immediate connection with our souls, that we are souls, and we become physical bodies, completely cut off from any awareness of our spiritual moorings. An amnesic state sets in, and here we are. We're little babies. We can hardly move. I love looking at my grandchildren. Their faces are so wise. But they have to grow into it. And so as children, our bodies overwhelm our soul in a sense. And only as we grow, does the soul that's really there begin to come to the fore. And there's actually a whole